Joined by our forwards coach, Jed Adcock. Has your heart stopped racing since our Hawthorn game on Saturday night?
No, definitely moved on from now. So obviously there's a fair bit going on at the moment this week already. Moved into Carlton and then obviously the bye. So important game this week.
What was the message from the coaches after the first quarter where we hadn't scored a goal to then come out firing like they did in the last three quarters?
Well, it was hard because it was 6 shots apiece. It was just that it was 5-1 to 6 points. So we knew early in the game they played a few tricks and we probably played a little bit slow and weren't up to speed. Probably for about the last 10 minutes of the quarter, we probably dominated and really had our share of the ball. We just couldn't finish the play. And I think what we saw from that point on and then through the rest of the game, we pretty much owned most of the footy and able to capitalise a bit better going forward.
Let's just talk a bit about the defensive efforts on the weekend. Hawthorn kicked 5 goals in the first quarter, but for the rest of the match, they only kicked another 5 goals. So that's pretty impressive.
Yeah, it is, yeah. And we know Hawthorn have got some pretty dangerous weapons up forward. Our boys around the middle did a fair job, especially after quarter time, which we spoke about, winning the fair share of the ball and sending it forward. But we had a couple of big roles that got done in defence with Harris and Darcy and Robbo, so they were able to nullify their main keys and real dangerous forwards, and that goes a long way.
You mentioned Harris. He was brilliant again with his intercept marking, but what about Darcy Gardiner's effort keeping Jack Gunston to no goals after he'd kicked 6 the week before?
Yeah, as I said, there's been some real important roles that got done, and you need that every game. There's going to be a few players that you target from the opposition that you've got to stop, and Jack was one of them. Luke Bruce was one, and Harris was able to do a really good job coming across third man in.
Great. And just talk to us a bit about Jarryd Lyons' efforts so far this season. He was again brilliant in the middle and had 33 disposals for the night and quite high in his tackling pressure. Yeah,
he has. He's been really consistent all year for us. His ability to play inside with his hands, he's probably finding a little bit more ball on the outside as well now, so he's balancing his game really well. And at the same time, he's been able to go forward and still provide target and provide pressure in our forward line. So we feel like we've really got a really good balance through our mids and forwards at the moment and being able to play multiple positions. And it's something that's really important going forward.
We had quite a few new players come in for the game on the weekend. We had Ben Keys, Archie Smith, Nick Robbo and Reece Matheson came back from suspension. How do you think that they went?
No, all played a role. Yeah, so all played a really important role, and that's really all you can ask for players that come in and try and perform what we ask them to and play their role, and that's what they're able to do in different aspects of the game. So Archie obviously ruck forward, and then Keysy, probably been playing more forward as in the knee full, but played probably a bit more predominantly through the wing, especially through the second half, and once again played an important role in stopping a couple of their key players that run pretty hard through the wing.
Matheson was quite impactful. Do you think he tried to make it up for missing the week before after being suspended?
No, I think that's just Matho, isn't it? So we're surprised he didn't get a bit of a goal celebration after a couple of his goals, but that's what he does. He can go forward, can mark the ball in the air and can be pretty dangerous, and then the fight and the competitiveness that you get from him, from midfield and forward is something that we really like in our team. And once again, as I said, it balances our team really well. We've got players who can play multiple positions.
Is he a big leader for us in terms of aggression each week, Matho?
Oh, I think you just know what you're going to get. He's a no-fuss footy player that a bit old school, a bit old style, head over the ball and get it going our way. And we've probably got a few of those players that are really important to footy teams. You can't have too much one or too much of the other, inside or out. You need a couple of players that are willing to put their body on the line and get the ball. And that's what he does, and he definitely got a bit of flair about it at the same time.
And just another one of your other players, Louis Taylor, had one of probably his best game for us this year with 28 disposals and a lot of impact across the ground. Were you happy with his game?
Yeah, he had a fantastic game. So I think what Louis brings is he brings a lot of run and spread and speed and creativity with ball in hand, and he was able to get upfield a little bit more. He's been probably playing a bit more as a forward, especially the last couple of years, and he probably spent a bit more time wing, high forward as well, but getting upfield and providing some really good options for us coming out of defence, and then with ball in hand, he's very creative. So, it's probably his best game for the year, and hopefully he can keep building on that for the rest of the year.
And Earlier in the week it was revealed, we've had Dave Allred coming to coach some of our boys in terms your players actually in the forward line. How much of an influence has he been for likes of Charlie Cameron and Dan McStay?
Yeah, he has. Yeah, so it's funny. Obviously, there's been a little bit of talk around goal kicking. I mean, I think we probably only missed 3 shots, set shots that you might have thought we should kick. But I think the good thing for us this year is that we're having so many more shots. So we're actually not too bad in terms of accuracy. It's just that we're having so many more shots, it might look like that to the naked eye. And Dave's come in, he's helped out. Start of the year, we'll kick him really accurate. Did a fantastic job through the pre-season. Obviously, he doesn't live in Australia, so it's always not easy having him here 24/7 or on call whenever we want him. But, we've been working closely and been able to do some stuff with the boys. And, it's goal kicking is one of those things that it's not always in the mechanics of a shot. It might be sometimes what's going on upstairs as well. So we've got a role to play to make sure they're relaxed and try and go through their routine and that. But footy's footy, and sometimes you just got to trust your own kick and go back and kick the goal. So we're working hard on it, but it's one of the things. It's a small aspect of a game of footy, yeah, and it probably has a big result at the end. But there's so much more that goes into a game of footy than just goal kicking, and without the other stuff that's going on around it, you don't get the set shots if you don't do the other stuff first. So it's important that we focus on the other stuff as well as a goal king. But Dave's definitely been down, and we'll be here again today and having a little kick with the boys.
Sounds great. And of course, we've got our Hall of Fame this weekend. And on Saturday, we'll be wearing a jumper that celebrates Kevin Murray's 50th anniversary of his Brownlow medal. Do you think everyone will get in that Bulldog kind of spirit when they pull on the jumper this weekend?
Oh, you hope so. Bulldog's obviously one of the most iconic and legends of this footy club. Obviously going back through the Fitzroy days and then through the merger. But Bulldog's one that you can always rely on being at any Melbourne game we go to. Even turns up to Melbourne training sometimes. The boys love having him around, so I don't think there's a better person to have on our jumper this weekend. And hopefully we can, the boys will wear it and we'll wear it proudly and do the right thing by him. But we're all excited for hopefully do the right thing in the game and get the job done. And then after that we'll celebrate with the rest of the group and the rest of the team and past players and current players about a bit of our history of the Brisbane Lions.
Sounds great, Jed. All the best for the weekend.
Cheers. Thanks, guys.